All right, welcome back. Today in your bundle for the 8th of December, it says we're going to be working on real world problems and solving them. And then you're going to be completing this page in there. This will be marked Tuesday, December 8th. So I have a couple of up here, just kind of some practice ones. We can talk about how I handle a word problem when I see it. First thing I do is I read through it, then I underline what they want me to find out, and then I circle what I feel is important information in the problem. Then I have to determine, am I going to add, subtract, am I multiplying, dividing? What are they asking me to do here? So I'm going to go through, it says we have Hazel owning a dairy farm with 78 cows. Each cow produces about 6 gallons of milk per day. Approximately how much milk is Hazel going to get per day? So they want me to find how much milk she's going to be able to get in one day. The information that I have, I know that there's 6 gallons per cow, and I know that there's 78 cows. So in this case, they put it in word form. A lot of times, students, you're so used to looking for numbers that it's not always evident when they put it in word form. So it's always good to go back and look. So I know I have 78 total cows, and each one of those cows can produce 6 gallons of milk. So when I'm looking at that, I have to think of what seems reasonable here. I can't add those two together because that's not going to tell me, because I know one cow is 6 gallons. That means 2 cows is 12 gallons. So I'm working with multiple groups here. So that's telling me I'm going to be multiplying. I'm going to take these 78 cows, knowing that each one of those cows is going to give me about 6 gallons of milk, or Hazel, 6 gallons of milk. So I'm going to multiply these out. 6 times 8 is 48. I know that 6 times 7 is 42, and 4 more make 46. So I'm going to end up with 468 gallons each day, or per day, of milk from those 78 dairy cows that she has. So if we look at that, oftentimes it helps to underline what are they asking and do a little searching for the numbers. Might be a word, could be a number form. If we look at the next one we have here, we have Bart buying a baseball. The baseball was $4.35. He gave the clerk a $10 bill. How much change does he get back? So I know how much change does he receive is what I'm looking for. I know that $10 and $4.35, those are the important details that I need there. Now I have to figure out, what am I doing with this? I know what the cost was. I know how much Bart paid for. What I don't know is how much he got back. So I have to be thinking about, how do I find that information? In this case, we would have to subtract. We know we have $10 and 0 cents. This is going to be one of those decimal problems because I have $4.35 that I paid. So we paid this amount. This is how much we gave them. And now we got to figure out how much money we're supposed to get back. So the big thing here is we need to make sure that we're subtracting and we're lining up our decimal points. Now we also look at here, we're trading across zeros, and we're trading across 3 zeros, which can be a challenge for some of you 5th graders, because we can't subtract 5 from 0. And so we need to regroup. Now I can go ahead and do my subtraction. to make sure that we bring down our decimal point. And 9 minus 4 is 5. So we should be getting back $5.63. Now, one thing you can always do is you can always check your work. If you're not sure you did it correctly, how much change we got back and the cost should equal how much we paid. So I can always come over to the side here, line up my decimals and check my work and add them together, and I should end up with $10, which I do. So if we go through and add our change to the cost, we should be able to get back how much we paid. And if we do, then we know we must have the answer correct. Let's try one more here before I let you get to work in your bundle. We have a small town zoo. They have 2 African elephants. And an elephant can eat 230 pounds of food in a day. How many pounds of food are needed to feed the elephants for an entire week? Wow, there's a lot going on in that problem. So I go back to, what do they want to know? How much food for an entire week? I know I have 2 elephants. I know that 1 elephant can eat 230 pounds of food per day. So I need to be thinking about, what do I need to find first here? Well, if I look at it, I know that I'm finding for a week. So I have to be thinking, well, how many days in a week? And we have to think of an entire week, not just your regular school week, which is 5 days, because they have to eat on the weekends too. So we have 7 days that we're working with. And we know that there's 230 pounds in 1 day. So we would double that for 2 days and so on. Or I can multiply it times those 7 days. So if I use multiplication here, I can figure out what 1 elephant's going to eat in a week. But then I also have to look at, we have 2 of them. So I'm going to tackle this at the end. Now you can use other strategies. Some of you might double this first and then multiply it by 7. That's a good strategy that would work too. But I'm going to just find 1 elephant first. So I'm going to multiply 0 times 7 is 0. 7 times 3, 21. 7 times 2 is 14. And then I have these 2 more. So that makes 16. So 1,610 pounds in a week of food. But that's not my answer, because I have to go back and remember there's 2 elephants. So I have to take this and double it. Now I can either multiply it by 2, or I can take 1,610 and add it to 1,610. Either strategy would work here. I'm going to choose to multiply by 2.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just a quick announcement here, because I think people are going down to the media center, maybe taking their stack of the bundles for their home.
So if I'm looking at this, I'm going to have 3,220 pounds
It'll eventually get to you, probably maybe Thursday-ish or late Wednesday.
of food in 1 week for both elephants to eat. So today you're going to be working on your bundle on those pages. There'll be 4 math problems. You might subtract like we did on this one. You might be adding, you might be multiplying, or you might have a multi-step one like this, where you're multiplying, finding out part of the solution, and then having to multiply again, or maybe add in that situation. So keep a close eye on that. Our next video, we're going to go over those 4 questions that you're doing today, and so you can get feedback on that and see how you did. But take your time, underline what you're supposed to find. Make sure you're circling your important information that you're using in your math problem. Do your calculations, and then always go back and check your work. you can check with your parents and get feedback that way too.